Tune in, episode 95. Watch your books, trust the process, and Jerry is still not buying a Tesla.
You're listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. With your hosts, Joe Ferranti and Jerry Kenna. Produced by Nathan Kenna. Interviewing entrepreneurs, business operators, and investors. This episode is brought to you by Wash, because laundry shouldn't cost your time. Wash delivers. Sign up at pickupwashdeliver.com. Do the wash. Skip the hassle.
All right. Episode 95, Between Two Bridges here, Between Two Bridges studio. So,
hello, Joseph.
You got Jerry and I here, and we're just, like every other business owner, getting through it here. We're fortunate enough to have two stay-at-home wives. They got a real shot in the arm this week, last week. And
Back to school.
Yeah, the first full week. It's really been nice for me because you think, I'm going to do it different next year. And that's kind of business in general, right? You're going to do it different next time. So like you learn from your past. So homework has always been a struggle with my daughter. And sometimes it'll be 7:00 at night and we're like, hey, Reese, did you do your homework? Thinking that like some little birdie came in and tapped her on the shoulder and said, Reese, do your homework. And she's like, oh, I did it. So at 5:00, sit down, iPads, get both. My son doesn't have homework right now yet. He will this year. But like, both their iPads get put away, TV's off.
Homework time.
It's homework time for everybody in the house. First day took us about an hour to do counting dimes and quarters and spelling words. The next day was 45 minutes. Today it was 23 minutes. So it's getting, and you can see it. So you make these systems and you learn how the system works.
Yep.
And if everybody's on the same system, you treat your household like a prison, it'll be a smooth household,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I mean, I'm 20 years into the dry cleaning game now, and I started thinking about my processes again,
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I got to get to work at a certain time, and it's like, I know what I do, but it's time for me to like kind of look at it again, which is great for me because one of the things in the new building is like, it's set up different. So like, there'll be days where I don't get the spots. Like we have a rail for spots that like need to be treated and cleaned again. So then I don't clean those, and then I already started everything, and I'm like, checking emails, and then I'm like, and then we have a thing that shows what needed to be done for the day, like for customers, and I'm like, where the fuck's that blouse? And I'm like, oh, it's on spots, you dumb fuck, and you didn't go check it because you're not in the process,
Yeah.
So you got to get there, say hello to the employees, go through
It's all about the systems and the processes, man.
Yeah, because unfortunately, we're not going to be here forever. So like, if you start thinking about them like a critical thinker and typing them up or chat GPTing them up, then they're there for the next person, and that to me has been like the start of me trying to build a legacy for myself and my business.
Yep.
It's not financial all the time.
Right.
Because right now what we have for our families is we offer them comfort, a home, a roof. We offer them, fun and financial, like our kids have financial freedom like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
But if something were to happen to us now between 40 and 50, that all goes away.
Yeah, because there's nobody there to run your business, and if your business can't run without you.
Right, and we're not in these heirloom businesses where like, our grandfather's grandfather did it, and we already own the building, and, we already got 16 million in the bank, and we're kind of just doing this to keep the tradition alive.
No, we're in the hustle every day.
Yeah, we're doing it to keep the business alive. So I feel like, I have good people that work for me, and so do you, because I'm fortunate enough to work with one of your girls. Jackie today was like, hey, what's up with your payroll? And I'm like, oh, that's a fresh of breath air. Normally I'm texting them or emailing them saying, fuck, I forgot to do my payroll. But
no, we've been working on that process, and one of the things that, I'll admit my delegation skills are not
I'm terrible.
very great. So I find myself being this like funnel between the client and my staff, where my staff will be like, "Hey, have you heard from Joe? What about payroll?" Or, and there's just no reason for it. The staff that I have here, I trust them with my kids.
Right.
I've known them a long time, and I don't have to worry that they're going to steal my clients. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to steal my clients. So I needed to kind of bridge that gap, and I needed to introduce them to my clients and say, "Hey, this is their phone number. If you need something, call them."
Right.
I don't need to be the middleman. I have enough shit to do. And if they haven't submitted payroll and it's due today, reach out and say, "Hey, we got to get your payroll in, or else your people aren't going to get paid."
Right.
If you need, you need into their bank account, you need a code to get into their bank account, or you don't know what this transaction is, just reach out to them. They're nice people. They'll be happy to hear from you.
Yeah. It made my day.
Yeah. So we've been working on that. It's been tremendous. And it's just taken a lot off of me, because now, I miss things, because I get so many messages, so many calls, so many voicemails, so many emails, that it is so hard for me to keep up with them all. And then people get frustrated. "I didn't hear back from you." And one of the things I hate is when they go, "You're a hard man to get a hold of."
Yeah.
I know, but it's not that I'm trying to be. It's just that I get so overwhelmed, and I'll leave a message unread because I'm like, I don't want to forget to get back to that person. But then I get 90 more and it's gone.
Yeah, the thing that gets me right now is I'm dealing with a lot of so my grandfather's name was Joseph Ferranti, and if he was alive, he'd be like 93. But man, does he get a lot of phone calls from Medicare.
It'd be nice if you started getting their checks or just Social Security checks.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. That never works out for me. But so I get so many calls, and these aren't calls from an 800 number that I get. They're from Oakmont.
412 number.
Yeah, and then I call it back, and it's either Verizon telling me it's not a good number, or I get somebody answering the phone, and they're like, "I didn't call you," because they'll take someone else's number.
Dummy number.
And they're calling, and then I'm calling that, and I'm like, "Okay, have a nice day." So to any of my clients and my customers that watch this show, if you call me and you don't leave a voicemail, chances are I'm not calling you back. It's unfortunate.
See, that's the thing too. When people call, if you don't leave a voicemail, or if you call, you have to understand this phone rings
all day
long. And 98% of the time, it's some scam call. "You're pre-approved for some loan," or "We want to offer you credit card processing," or "You can save money by doing this," or "This, do you want this software?" There's so much bullshit.
Yeah. CPAP supplies.
It's so much shit that you have to understand that, I know I want your call and I wish I could answer every call, but if I don't have your number in my phone, I'm not going to answer it, because I would literally be on the phone all day dealing with scammers trying to approve me for some bullshit loan.
Right.
I can't answer them.
So, we're in the same boat. We both have iPhones. I have an older client that is in Butler, and I called him the other day, and it said, "If you are trying to sell me something, press 2 to confirm that you're human." And I was like, "Oh, Google's got it figured out."
So the new iPhone, I saw a TikTok video a couple weeks ago that you can sign up to be a public beta tester
for a software
for Apple, so that you can get the early release of the new iOS. And I'm techie, I'm into that. Oh, excuse me. So I'm like, I kind of want to do that.
Your glasses gave it away.
Yeah. So I'm like, I kind of want to do that. So I did it, and so I have the new iOS. So the new iOS does that.
Nice.
So when I get a call, it asks them, if they're not in my phone, it asks them to identify themselves prior to it ringing on my phone. So when I get the call, it'll say a short message that I'm blah, blah, blah from
Bob
blah,
had
blah,
a baby,
blah.
it's a boy.
Yeah. And I can decide whether or not I want to accept it or send it direct to voicemail.
Yeah.
And so, Google and, whatever, Android or whatever, was kind of already on that. Apple is implementing that on the new iOS, so it's coming. If you're not part of the early beta team, the new iOS is pretty sweet actually, but they're doing that now. It's good as a person receiving the bullshit calls.
It's bad for a salesman.
It's bad if you're trying to do cold calling for salesmen, man.
Yeah, which, we've tried cold calling, and, it's an awkward conversation. Especially the people I'm calling. I'm usually calling like other restoration companies, or like trying to get on the baseline of like a high-rise residential, and they don't want to hear it. They got their people in place. You need to know someone there to get in.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But my new move is I'm going to start just bringing donuts everywhere I go, I think. Like early morning donuts.
Donuts. Who was I talking to? They said something, and I was like, man, that's the play. Oh, Dusty. You got to bring...
he used to bring the pepperoni rolls. His boy,
the atomic pepperoni rolls.
Yeah. So I think, though, maybe next Friday, if the news comes out where some people are speculating, maybe I could just bring them a joint. Just show up with a joint. Like, yeah, man.
It's Schedule 3 now. We're good.
You want to burn one? So,
you got to know your clientele, man. Sometimes that might get you in the door.
Whatever it takes, There's a lot of old school salesmen that have a lot of old school techniques that probably would work really, really well in this day and age. But cold calling, I've never bought anything from a cold call.
Yeah, not me either. But that's with these new phones, it's pretty much dead. But you still get them all freaking day long, and it's making it so hard to do business on a phone because I get so many calls out all day long that it's impossible. If your number's not in my phone, I can't answer it anymore.
My two favorite calls that I used to get were commercial roofing company would call the old store all the time. And I'd tell the lady every time, I'd be like, I don't have a roof. She's like, well, sir, that's impossible. I said, no, I'm in the basement below Staples. Call Staples because they have a roof. And if their roof has problems, I'm not fixing it.
Yeah.
And then the other one was always, and I give credit to a guy for this. Another dry cleaner in the Pittsburgh area, Yelp, used to call me all the time. And their shtick was always like, we're going to get you $300,000 worth of business. And I'd laugh and hang up. Well, this guy, he took it and was like, probably when AirPods first come out and he had nothing better to do. He's like, yeah, tell me. And like went through the whole spiel. And like whoever the salesperson was like, I got one. Like they probably were like flicking the lights and like everybody was excited. And he was like, we're going to get you $300,000. All you got to do is like pay $500 now and then like $475 a month. And the guy and my buddy Bill was like, all right, I got one more question for you. And he goes, if you get me $300,000 worth of work, I'm an owner operator. And they were like, yeah. He's like, what's your question? He goes, who the fuck is going to press all those clothes? And then hung up the fucking phone on him. I'm like, I mean, you think about it. Like, dude, I'm going to get you 400,000 more tax returns. Yeah. Well, it sounds great.
Yeah.
But who the fuck's going to do it all?
Yeah.
Like, you're talking like maybe a residential roofer, 300 grand's, 10 jobs.
Yeah. Email's probably worse than even those calls.
Dude, you almost need to change your email address.
Constant emails all day long about just nonstop, just recruiting. And, we can get you more employees and we can get you a loan. We can get you software. We can get you... It's just
there's more workers working to get workers work than there are workers working. That's like a tongue twister there.
Yeah.
But it's a real world tongue twister right now.
There's 50 emails to a page, on your email page, email website, whatever. On Google, we use Google Workspace, so on Gmail, it's like 50 emails to a page. I go through one of those pages every single day.
Absolutely.
So if you don't. Like if
you're not in that first 50, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
Like you might as well send it again.
Yeah, and be like, I emailed you. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, but it's gone.
If you really want my attention, send me a letter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tell people like, listen, if you send me a text or you send me an email or you call me and you don't hear back from me, send it again. Like you got to just. I'm sorry, it sucks, and I wish it wasn't like that, but we get so bombarded with scams.
Not only just scams, it's like. The things that you do think that would help your business, you sign up for them. You do a little ad, right? And it's $300 a month. And you're like, all right, in your mind, you're like, I'll run it for 6 months. It's $1,800. See what happens, right? And then you forget. And it's now 10 months. Now it's 12 months. And then they email you a renewal. And if it probably says in the fine print somewhere there, if you don't respond to this, we're going to consider it a renewal. So now you're 20 months into this $300 ad. You got fucking what? $3,000 out. And $6,000 out. And you're like, well, I didn't get anything from it. And now I've already been paying it and I want to cancel it. And they're like, well, you got 3 more months so you can cancel. And you're like, wait, I've given you fucking $6,900 and I've gotten 0 customers, because that's how the real world operates. But when you try to operate as a small business and a client's like, you didn't respond, like, it's like fucking, the whole world's out to get you. I'm here to help you. Like, if I don't get back to you in an hour or two, it's not the end of the fucking world.
Right. Yeah.
I dealt with a major company that is based out of Miami that I do work for religiously, and like they were 6 months behind on the invoice. And the lady said to me, I needed to prove that we did the work. And I'm like, what? Like, we pick up and drop off tiles on a deal that you set up. Like, how do you want me to? She was like, well, who do you contact there? I was like, I don't know. Like, I talked to you. You set it up. So I'm like, give me a day or two. So we had a delivery on Friday, and I just walked in. I was like, who deals with the towels here? And the guy was like, I do. I was like, what's your name? He's like, let's just call him Steve Miller for now. He's like, Steve Miller. Went outside and was like, emailed her. I was like, Steve Miller. She's like, all right, we've confirmed, like literally within an hour. She's like, all right, we've confirmed that you've done the work. And I'm like, if I didn't have fucking balls to walk in there, I gotta just take it on the chin for fucking $4,000.
Yeah.
Because they're a big company, they can do that shit.
Yeah.
So like,
you ever wonder if you just started sending invoices to these huge companies if they just pay them?
Dude, it's so funny you say that, because right when I was saying that, there was a guy that put an ad in a Wall Street Journal in like the 90s. He started a church and he asked for donations. And then literally like a month later, he had to put another ad in the Wall Street Journal and say, stop sending money. Because it got out of control. Like, there was so much, like, people just were willing to send money. Because I think that's something I learned a long time ago, and I've said it on here before. Your customers and your clients are not as poor as you are. Yeah. People don't look at dollars the same. I don't look at, obviously, my daughter doesn't look at a dollar the same way I look at a dollar. Our wives don't look at dollars the same way we look at dollars. It's the makeup of a human, Yeah. You teach your kids how to respect a dollar,
right?
But like some people, they lose sight of it because they have so many dollars that it doesn't fucking matter, and they're getting taken advantage of, and it doesn't even matter because they have excess. But like when you're a small business owner, you might go through a hot streak. Like I've been there. I ride the hot streak and you don't care. It's like whatever. Sponsor a baseball team, sponsor this, do this, send a donation, make a basket. It doesn't matter when you're like riding those highs. You're just like, whatever, I'll do it. But when you hit that dip, you start looking at it and you're like, man, I have given away fees and bullshit.
Live on air,
dude. What are they selling you?
This message is from the approvals department. We have pre-approved offer for $60,000 in the form of debt consolidation loan.
Put it on speaker and call them back. Let's go.
That was the preview before I had to accept it, so I could just decline it.
Oh, we should have fucking did it live on air. We could have got $60K. First sponsor could have been that company,
for $450 a month for the rest of my life, probably.
Dude, those are the best. $300,000. I'll give you $300,000 today, and you just pay back $4,000 a month, and it's got to be paid back in 48 months. So it's like, wait, I'm gonna give you $1 million. Like, I better have a really good idea on how to invest this fucking money because you're the one winning. But yeah, it's like you got to watch more now than ever because there's more companies out there now than ever that are like, we'll streamline your life. We'll subscription. And I've tried to get into that game. It's tough. But dude, as a business owner, it's coming from every angle, dude. Yeah, you got to be careful. And I know that you probably see clients, and a lot of your clients are newer or been in business, but like I'm sure that there's a lot of new business owners that bite that. And they don't need many. If they get one a month, they're doing well for themselves. And they probably get the check and they offered you let's say they offered you $100,000. You get a check for 58. And they're like, well, this was processing. This is your, fee, front-ended fees. So now you're paying on 100. You got 58 and you got to pay them back $275. And the merchant loans were the ones back
Oh, the
before
merchant
when they
loans will
first
kill
came
you,
out.
dude.
When they first come out, a lot of businesses were taking them.
Kill you.
So I did before we started doing business with SSB, we did the locker company offered financing, and it wasn't a merchant loan, but it was bi-weekly, every other week. And it was through like a shady funding company. But the deal was good because I was getting a service or I was getting a product and they weren't whacking me on. I mean, I think I paid like $4 or $5 grand in interest over a year, which isn't ideal, but at the time it made sense. But since I'm in that protocol with that company, my information is there for every one of those fuckers to call me. And believe me, they call. And if you owe somebody money and you're like trying to duck those calls, you're like, I'm not ducking your call. I'm just ducking everyone's call because I'm so sick. Like by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, dude, if you really want to get a hold of me, 412-915-5874, you call me before 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll fucking answer every time. But like after 8 to 5, it's like, it's all bullshit. Text me. I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a fucking buyer beware society out there, and business owners are victim number one. We've talked about fraud on here, and these aren't even fraud. I mean, if you sign up for these, you've actually had a chance to prevent fraud before you got involved in fraud, and then you just get desperate and sign on the bottom line.
Yep.
I mean, restaurant owners are guilty of it, I'm sure, more than most because their margins are tight and they get a phone call like, hey, we'll give you an advance. We'll just take it out of the credit cards. So
next thing you know, they're taking 10% of your credit cards.
Right. So it doesn't seem bad because you're like, I'm already paying, 3.5% on credit cards. So if it just doubles and it's only 6%, I'm still getting some money.
But the problem is that your margins at a restaurant may only be 10%.
Right.
So now all of a sudden you're cutting into that gross profit. Your margins are gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 30% margin's like a great margin in business. People,
but in a restaurant, a 10% margin's a great margin.
Yeah. Yeah. Your tickets. So, I mean, I do that barter system, and we do business to business bartering. And I'd say their name, but they don't sponsor the show, so fuck them. But
fuck them.
The thing with that is like, my problem with it isn't that it doesn't work. It's that my tickets are so small. So like there's guys on there that do plumbing and they'll go in and do a sewer line for you. It's fucking $25,000 on this barter. But like for me to get to 25 grand, it takes a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but everywhere you look as a business owner, there is somebody trying to fuck you over. And as a human, it's the same way. It doesn't change. It just, the numbers get smaller. Those calls instead of 60 to 300 grand, or we'll give you 5 grand. And in my personal life, like 5 grand, I'll take 5 grand if I was down and out.
Yeah.
Fucking pays the mortgage. It puts groceries in it buys us a month.
Yeah.
And so you say, yeah, sure. And then the next thing you know, you're in bed with these fuckers for a long time. Maybe we should start that company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, can we do that maybe this would be evidence then.
Yeah, maybe not.
We'll do it, but we just won't call it Between Two Bridges Lending. But hey, if you need a loan out there, fuck, these rates. I mean, I thought loan sharking, they're like the current mafia, So, yeah, that would be my advice today, this week, would be fucking keep your eye open. Pay attention to the bottom line. That's my favorite thing about switching banks recently. I'm like hyper focused, so nothing slips through the cracks. Like people are like, hey, you forgot to renew this. Like I'm in this association for dry cleaners, and they called me and they were like, hey, you owe us $90. Your monthly thing didn't go through. I'm like, I'm paying you $90 fucking dollars. I haven't used you for anything in like 3 years. Like,
just cancel that.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, do I have to give you a card? Like, are you going to turn me in for the $90? They're like, no, you'll just lose your subscription. I'm like, oh, good then, thanks. That's $3 grand over 3 years. Like,
yeah,
you don't think about it.
Right. Just money automatic debit out of your account.
Yeah. I know that our Destiny talked on here before about the debt snowball, get the little things paid off. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally wiping things out that I'm not paying them off. I just was paying money for nothing.
Yep.
Yeah,
those subscriptions, man, they add up and you don't even pay attention to them. And you're, just doing an audit of your bank statement and being like, why am I paying this?
Yeah. Dude, it's
personal
insane.
life and business life. I mean, I did it a handful of months ago. I went through and I'm like, I'm paying for Disney Plus 3 times. What am I doing here?
Yeah. And then they have apps that you can pay for by subscription to make sure you're not paying subscriptions.
Yeah,
and
you're
I'm
paying
like,
a
holy
subscription for
fuck.
that.
Yeah, it's convoluted, dude.
Yeah.
You're trying to get $10 off of me to save me 20.
Yeah.
Where now I'm out 30. Like,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. And now a brief word from our sponsor. You've got a full plate. Kids, meetings, workouts, side hustles. There's better things to do than laundry. Introducing Wash, laundry reimagined for the modern world. Schedule your pickup in seconds via the convenient web app. Wash picks up your clothes, cleans with care, and brings them back fresh and ready to wear. But it's more than garments. From bedding and table linens to shoes, hats, purses, and more. Wash handles all your life's fabric, leaving you more time to do you. Visit pickupwashdeliver.com and see how convenient it can be to do the wash. And now, back to the show.
So we did touch base on this a little bit ago about, or we talked about it last episode, and there's some headspace thinking that it's going to keep moving forward. They're going to downgrade the marijuana legislation.
Yeah, it's, I mean, by the time this comes out, it could happen. It could happen anytime. Trump said a few weeks ago that he was considering rescheduling marijuana as a Schedule III drug, which is going to change the game federally. Here in Pennsylvania, it's medically legal. I guess from what I have been told, there's some legislation in the state government to legalize recreationally. I don't know if that's going to go through or not. I don't know. I'm not really paying attention to it, but changing it on a federal level, the big thing I'm looking at is these stocks for these companies. It's going to change their stock prices pretty dramatically. So I've been keeping kind of a close eye on it as far as that goes. A lot of them are up on the speculation of it. I think, we talked about it last week. Trump's MO, the whole art of the deal, was to kind of
Shock and
throw out a crazy idea and then kind of compromise. And rumors came out that he was going to deschedule it altogether. Then he came out and said he was going to reschedule it as Schedule III. Since then, and obviously we're recording this early, things could change between now and when this actually airs. But recently, from now, or just a couple of days ago, the Republican National Committee, the National Republican National Committee, appointed a new chairman, and he is pro-legalization. So that also boosted stock prices a lot. And it also seems to be kind of pushing in that direction. So I know that there's a lot of people on the right that are pretty upset about it. A lot of people are complaining about the smell, about it in public spaces, about the kind of downfall of the cities where it's been legalized. I don't really buy it. I think there may be a correlation between the legalization in some of those cities that are falling down, but I don't think it's the causation. I think that there's a lot of other issues in those cities. I think there's a lot of those cities were already problematic way before there was any sort of legalization.
Portland, one of those cities?
Portland was one, Detroit, Denver, some of the cities that they've been citing.
Yeah.
They're saying that, the homeless problems have been worse. I really don't think legalizing marijuana is creating a homeless problem. I think that, maybe it's easier for homeless people to get marijuana when it's legal, but I don't think that marijuana is making people homeless.
Yeah, and you're not smelling like the smell of marijuana that the people think of, like, oh, it smells. That's not the shit you're getting from a dispensary.
Well, I mean, if they're smoking like actual
but like
flower or whatever.
I think the good flower smells better than the.
Well, I think cigarette smoke is
way worse,
offensive as well. So I mean,
and it lingers longer.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all kind of. I mean, it is what it is, but I think there should be a conversation about whether or not there's medical benefit to it, and research and stuff like that. And I think the weird thing about it is that, and I think we talked about this last episode as well. These companies that, at a state level, it is legal, so they're allowed to sell it, but they're not allowed to take a deduction on their tax return
or use it as income for a bank loan.
Right. They're not allowed to get money from a loan. They're not allowed to bank. They're not allowed to take a credit card. They're not allowed. There's so many regulations. And then on top of that, I don't think people realize that, Pennsylvania, it's legal for medical use, and these dispensaries are allowed to operate in Pennsylvania. But technically, the DEA
could kick the
door into a dispensary and shut it down. They have the legal right to do so because it is federally illegal.
Right.
So
I think one of the other things that I guess that would contribute to a negative to it is there's a lot of people out there still selling weed, making good money, paying rent illegally. And if you do this, they're going to be out of a job.
Well, I'm not really super worried about saving the jobs of the drug dealers.
Well, I know a couple, they're good customers.
Yeah, there's probably people that are buying it from the dispensary and then reselling it on the street too. It's just like easier wholesale. Now you can just buy it right there instead of trying to get it from the guy in the hood.
Yeah, our intro last week was, the government's got their hand in your business. Well, they have their hand in everybody's business.
They sure do, and that might be getting a little worse.
Yeah. Oh,
in some areas.
So one of the things that you think about, and we've talked several trips you've had, since this episode will air, and one of the things that I enjoy, and I know my wife enjoys it, is when shit's just sometimes hectic. You don't need a big break. You just need to go for a ride.
Go for a drive.
Go for a drive. Clear your head, And you don't want to have a spreadsheet on your computer telling you, well, maybe I shouldn't take this drive.
Or how about the government using the GPS in your car to track how many miles you drove that year?
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't that be some shit?
Because they're all capable of doing it.
Or going to get an inspection, and they're like, oh, write down your miles, send it to the state.
Yeah, so
then
you
get an invoice.
Massachusetts is currently working on legislation to cap and tax mileage if you exceed a certain mileage in a year.
On your personal vehicle.
On your personal vehicle.
Not commercial, not truck drivers.
No, personal vehicles. And the goal of this is to reduce the amount of mileage that people are driving in a year, to try to keep people from driving too many miles. And there's some politicians that are upset about it, and they're citing that it punishes people that live in more rural areas that may have a longer commute to drive, which is...
I talked to a gentleman before I got here because he's a CDL driver for the state, and I kind of wanted to see what his stipulations were. And their CDL drivers are basically all hourly stipulations. There's no miles. They can drive... If they want to drive 1,000 miles an hour, they can drive 1,000 miles an hour, but they're only allowed to drive for 14 hours a day. Unless the roads need plowed, then they can drive more hours because the state needs them. They're like they're mules, So they made all these stipulations in that rule. And when we were talking, I said, this isn't like going to affect like 90% of the people, right? But 10% of the people that like have a camp, that want to go to camp, or companies that have decided to move their operation to a rural area that need to bring people in from the city to go there to work, that need big footprints like data centers.
Or people that decided to move out of the city and they want to live in a rural area and commute into the city and maybe have a 40-mile drive to work. Right. And, it's one thing for Massachusetts, the people, that live around Boston, to make a decision to whenever you can be in Boston in a 15-minute commute or 15-mile commute.
Metro.
Or take the metro or take public transportation. Right, exactly. But if you live in rural Iowa and you have to drive
to Des Moines
to get to work, you may have a 50-mile drive to get to work. And that may be just commonplace. I know that Montana, a lot of time, that's just land, man. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes just to get to a main road.
Dude, my sister lives in rural Virginia. It's 45 minutes to a Walmart.
Right. So you're driving to a grocery store in some of these rural states, if they start adopting these nationally, which apparently there are several states that are considering this move, and I don't see states that are rural doing this. And and I don't know if it would end up being a national thing. It could potentially be, depending on who's in charge. Whenever the government starts trying to control your movement, that becomes a slippery slope where, it could potentially end up being more government. Government never gives you freedoms back.
Right.
They always take more. So whenever governments start taking those freedoms away, more governments start taking more freedoms away. So it could end up snowballing into more. And you can't, it doesn't, one size doesn't fit all. And you end up, and then, look at Pennsylvania, for instance. If you live in Allegheny County, chances are you can be in downtown Pittsburgh in less than a 15 or a 20 mile commute.
Right.
Okay. But if you live in Greene County, you got to commute to get to anywhere with any sort of population.
Right.
And if that's the case, you're going to put a decent amount of miles on your car every year. And now you're going to be subject to an additional tax and be punished because you've got to drive. And, what if you don't like to fly?
Yeah. What if you have family? What if your grandmother lives, in Charleston and you live in Pittsburgh and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go down 10 times this year.
Right.
Because I miss my grandma and I need to be with her and she's getting older and I don't know when the next,
You're punishing people for being able to move about freely across the country. And it's one thing, and I guess it, was brought to my attention that this is more common in Europe and things like that. But you have to remember, Europe.
We didn't have the Boston Tea Party, so we could be like Europe.
Well, here's the other thing too. Europe is made up of several countries that are all the size of our states.
Right.
Okay. Our states are the size of most of those countries, if not bigger. And a lot of Europeans will come here and be amazed at the vast size of this country and how long it takes to get from one side to the other. It doesn't work here. You can't punish people. And the whole thing is it's freedom. If I want to get in my car and leave on a Thursday morning and drive to Florida.
Yeah, well, they're not saying that you can't. They're just saying we're going to charge you for it.
We're going to tax you for it because you drove too much.
And where does it stop? Is it like, well, Jerry got 26 haircuts this year.
In the article that I read, it's kind of funny to me because the reason that they're saying that they are trying to adopt this is because more people are buying electric vehicles, so they're not collecting the gas tax.
Right.
But they're the ones that have been pushing people to buy electric vehicles, incentivizing them to buy electric vehicles by giving them a $7,500 tax credit in order to discount them to buy them.
And they started to hint about the emissions.
Yeah.
They're greater now, but they're not.
But not with an EV.
And not with any vehicle.
So they're kind of talking out both sides of their mouth.
Right.
So they're saying, well, people are buying EVs, so they're not pumping gas, so they're not paying the gas tax. So we have to find another way to collect that tax. So we're going to charge people for driving so that we can collect the tax. But you're the ones that are pushing everybody to buy EVs. Right. You're the one that said by 2035, we're supposed to not even have internal combustion motors. So I don't understand.
Well, my gram had a term for that. That's called writing checks your ass can't cash. And that's like a parent telling their kids, if you do that one more time, no more iPad for a week.
It's like these politicians create a problem and then come in and try to solve the problem that they created.
By making us pay for it.
And then we're paying the bill. Yeah. It's like you gave our tax money away to incentivize people to buy electric cars. Now you've created a tax deficit because people aren't paying gas taxes, which are already ridiculous. And now, because you have a deficit in tax revenue because you've pushed everybody into buying EVs, now you're going to tax everybody more because they're not paying tax credits or not paying the taxes on gas. But what about the guy that didn't buy the EV that's paying the gas tax and now he's also going to be paying a commuter tax because he drove too many miles this year.
Yeah, they should just call it the old school tax. Like if you're old school and you haven't conformed yet, we're going to tax you.
We're going to double tax you.
We're going to double, triple net tax
So
you.
just pay. How about just tax the EV people?
Just ask for a fucking donation at this point. I'd feel better about it.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Like if they came to me and said, all right, look, here's the deal. We fucked up. We don't have enough money to pave the roads next year.
I think maybe just if you have an EV, you got to pay the tax.
Well, maybe, yeah, they should be on the mileage plan then.
Yeah.
You know, you have an EV, you're
not paying any gas tax.
You're ducking the tax.
So you have to pay.
And if you drive
tax.
over 5,000 miles a year in your EV, boom, you're getting taxed.
Boom.
We figured it out.
Yeah. So apparently
what do
the
you
average.
want to run for?
Yeah, I'm not running for shit. I guess the average amount of miles per year that people have driven has increased over the years. I guess the average driver is driving closer to 15,000 miles per year. It used to be like 12.
We ran out of space in cities and built houses in the suburbs.
People are leaving the cities. They don't want to live in the congested cities anymore. They're trying to expand out. It's also cars are becoming more efficient. They're getting more miles per the gallon. They're more comfortable. So people are more willing to drive further to get into work. There's more people that are telecommuting so they can work from home. So people are more willing to live.
Yeah, some of these jobs are
20 miles from
hybrid,
the
so they
city.
can take a job that's 150 miles away from their house because they're going to work from home 4 days a week and go to the office once a month.
Yeah.
So they'll drive at 150 miles for the job.
Yeah. It's just we're living in a new world, and the
I'm
government
open
is
to
trying
like
to find
any
whole new
politician
ways
that wants to
tax
come
us.
on this show.
Yeah, we got to find a politician that wants to come on because I'd like to argue with somebody on the podcast.
Yeah, cut that into a real jack. But yeah, I mean that when you sent me that article, I thought that there was going to be like some real catch to it to where like we were going to be able to make some money on that deal, but it looks like the government's the only one making money on that deal.
Typical.
Yeah, fuckers.
Just always have their hand in your pocket. Any way they can get their hand in your pocket.
Yeah. It's always wild to like, what do they say? Be alert. You know, we talked about it. You got to be alert. Mm-hmm. And the more you're alert, the more you want to not be alert. Like, can't I just be like one of these other fuckers that just goes through life, 9 to 5, getting a 25% raise every year and fucking just, But they're coming for you, and all different angles too. They when I read that, I thought there's no way that in my life I ever would have thought like, should I go there or how many miles do I have in my car this year? Like, that's not even a thought. Like, dude, I'm going. Like, do I want to get the best pizza? I'll drive an extra fucking 10 miles.
Absolutely. That's so much fun. I mean, there's been days that that's like one of the things that we like to do is just get in a car and go for a ride.
Yeah. They want to colonize us and like make us these little communities. And it's like, dude, you're going to piss so many people off. Like, I was thinking when I was talking to this guy, I said, I always think which one's going to be the one. Now, I'm not like a big fan of like violence and everybody killing everybody, but like sooner or later, there's going to be one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like the Tuesday at 2:00 tax. People are like, that's it. I'm not fucking paying it. And it's sad too, because the joke's always been is like we came here because we were being taxed for everything.
Yeah.
And you talked about in European countries. Like we created the United States not to be them.
Yeah.
But
yeah, speaking of some things that have changed here that how about Trump taking over 10% of Intel? What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I think he's doing the big deal, the art of the deal right now in the office with everything.
I don't, so it's done.
Oh, he got it.
The federal government purchased 10% of Intel. And
That's not good.
I don't like it. It's, so
the government's dabbling in the stock market now.
yeah, they now own a stake in a
Does that make them a majority
corporation.
shareholder?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I don't know. Maybe
10%.
10%'s a big hunk.
Yeah.
It's definitely
It's for
significant
one
stake.
holder to have 10% in the company, I'd say they're a majority shareholder.
it's a pretty big stake in the company. So they took over 10% of the company.
Very Chinese.
Yeah. So
So we're in the chip business.
the federal government is now in the chip business. I was just saying to somebody, in the last week, they took over 10% of the 10% of Intel. And he also, and this is something that might ruffle some feathers, and I'm going to present this in a way that I'm going to preface this with I'm a libertarian. Okay. I'm freedom first.
Right.
I may not agree with what people do. I'm not going to do what people do, but I also respect the right to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
Right. So he also signed an executive order outlawing burning an American flag. Do I think you should burn an American flag? No. Do I think you're an asshole if you burn an American flag? Yeah.
If I'm present, I will stop you from burning an American flag, but like I'm not going to
100%.
put you in jail for burning an American flag.
Would I ever burn an American flag? Absolutely not. Do I think it should be illegal to burn an American flag? I think it's probably a valid form of freedom of speech, and
Yeah. That's tough. That's a tough one.
it's a tough one, but like, it's freedom, man.
Yeah, it's freedom and it's up for debate. And if you want to burn a flag, go ahead and burn one. Just don't burn it in front of me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Don't
what
do
I
it in
mean?
front of me. And I think you're an asshole if you do it.
Aaron Lewis
There's a
had
lot of
that
people
famous
that-
song where he said, you know, he had that tattoo of the flag on his sleeve, and he said, "You want to burn one? Come burn this one."
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't think anybody should do it. I think that it's a terrible form of protest. I think it's like, you know, people died to protect that flag.
Yeah.
At the same time,
That's
people
what gets you off.
died to protect you, the freedom
100%.
to speak your mind in this country.
Yeah, you see those videos where people stomp on them in the streets and then other guys pick them up and walk away with them. That I get.
Yeah.
But like, if that dude stomping on that flag goes to jail for that, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because that's not,
You can't.
it's not the American way, dude. We're losing sight of the American way right here.
And
right
I
now.
think, I don't know what he's doing, man. Now, there's going to be some people that listen to this, they're going to be like, oh, that's not American. Okay, it is un-American to burn an American flag.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
But isn't it kind of not un-American to not have the freedom to do it?
Well, yeah, that goes into like the way of the NFL. Like those guys, everybody got riled up because they were kneeling for the national anthem. And I said, you know what? That's what they want to do. You do you, boo.
Do I think he's an asshole for doing it?
100%.
Yeah.
Do I
Would
think
I
it
do
was
it?
bad when
No.
teams felt like, my problem with that whole thing was they felt like you had to pick a side. And in America, you don't have to pick a side. You're your own person. You can do your own thing.
Do your thing.
So if he wants to kneel and you want to stand, that's fine. At the end of the day, when the song's over, he gets up, you're standing, you're Americans, move on with your day.
Right.
Like, you don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance, don't say it. I don't give a shit. You know, but don't try to change the next guy's opinion.
Same thing with the kneeling, right? So would I ever kneel? Absolutely not. Do I think you're an asshole for kneeling? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Do I think it should be illegal? No.
Nah. So that gets us on the NFL. We're going to start a whole new season. 25, 26 seasons getting kicked off here. It'll start the day after this airs.
Yeah.
So are they still kneeling? I don't think they're kneeling.
No, I think they're over that.
See, and that's the other thing, dude. Like social media and the press, they make big stories out of small things. And then, you know, the next guy feels obligated to pick a side. He picks a side. He kneels. And now he publicly picked a side.
Yeah.
You know, and like that whole thing years ago with Villanueva, he was standing in the tunnel because the whole team, it's like they found an angle and fucking ran with it to make certain people look good and certain people look bad.
They had to have a headline, dude.
The bottom line is, and this is a hot take, Colin Kaepernick sucked.
He just
was a bad quarterback.
He just
dude.
sucked as a football player.
Dude,
It had nothing to do with him
Patrick
kneeling.
Mahomes was kneeling and winning 6 Super Bowls. Fuck it. Who cares?
Everybody would have been
He
all right
just-
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Kaepernick just was not that good.
yeah, it could have been Big Ben. If Big Ben threw 14 picks and 1 touchdown and was kneeling for the national anthem, we'd have booed him the fuck out of town too, and he'd have been unemployed.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take.
That's the hot take.
So now we'll do a little prediction because we've done these. I mean, I miss our Destiny a lot, especially because this was his kind of deal. You know, he liked to get the predictions out there.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year?
So I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl.
You just broke my heart, dude.
I don't think they are. I mean,
Hey, Rod.
I think that they're going to be a contender for first, maybe second round of the playoffs. I think they're going to do well. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I think that I understand some of the negativity toward Aaron Rodgers. I know, he's 41. I get it. I know that last 2 years have been rough with Aaron Rodgers. I know there's been a lot of drama around Aaron Rodgers. Here's my thought, okay? The Jets sucked before Aaron Rodgers got there.
Yeah.
They're going to suck after Aaron Rodgers left.
Right.
Them sucking had nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning quarterback that we got for $13 million. And
10?
It's 10 guaranteed, 13.65 is the salary.
On the cap.
Yeah.
Towards the cap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's my take. Yinzers are so upset about Aaron Rodgers.
Because he beat us in a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, whether you like it or not, and whether you want to admit it, is still by far the best quarterback to put a Steelers uniform on since Roethlisberger left.
Right.
So, let's go.
Yeah, I agree with that. One of the things I would say, so what's your prediction for the record?
11-6.
I like it. I was going to tell you you're not allowed to pick 10-7.
No, I think it'd be a little better than 10-7.
All right.
11-6, second round of the playoffs will be out.
So the win a wild card game.
Yeah.
All right. I like getting deep into my predictions because I've had, 30 years to do this. Never been right. So my prediction this year is Lamar Jackson cannot stay healthy. You cannot play the game to the level and run the ball the way he does and rely on his legs and not have the ability to slide. I think this is the year that, unfortunately, ends it for Lamar Jackson's streak of being healthy.
Okay.
I think the Steelers end up winning the division at the same record at 11-6. And I think that Aaron Rodgers wins us one playoff game and he comes back next year.
Somebody told me today that they heard that he's open to coming back next year.
I think that when you're making 10 and you realize that if he has a good year, 11-7 gets him 30 next year, guaranteed.
You think they'll give him that much?
Oh yeah, I mean just in line with winning quarterbacks. I mean Mahomes is making 40. So if you had one good year and you're willing to have the worst year, he could go 2-15 the following year. It doesn't matter. He's donned the black and gold. He's now got everybody on his side. He's doing it for all the right reasons at that point. Why wouldn't you come back for $33.5 million? I mean, he turned down Jeopardy for like $100 million, So I would do it. Even if people think you're a joke and washed up, it's fine. You're going to get one more year. And that's all these guys need is one more year. And that's a lot of fucking money. So I think that if he has the year that he could potentially have, the number's not 10 again. And that was the problem with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson missed 6 games because he hit a D-man sled, the one-man sled. He had a run there, right? But he couldn't finish it.
Yep.
And then he would have got $30 million here. If he would have went 11-7 or and won a playoff game here, he's not in black and gold next year. And if he would have got hurt and Justin Fields would have went 11-7, he's not in black and gold. So if we don't have an opportunity to say, well, he's our guy for the next 7 years, but he could be our guy for the next year.
My ideal circumstance, and I'm not sure if Will Howard is a future franchise quarterback for the Steelers.
Got hosed on that deal, not even being able to see him.
Yeah.
So.
And he's going to be out for 4 weeks, I heard.
Well, they're going to put him on the IR, as apparently the story, but.
For his hand?
Yeah, which is fucked up organizationally because Tomlin was like, he's close. He was out there running drills. And this guy needs to be in a system. He needs to be taking reps. And if he goes on the IR, he's not allowed to be around a team taking reps. He'll literally not throw football from his last game in college until December. Almost a calendar year in an actual game environment, even if it's a scrimmage and practice. So, man, does that suck for him?
So my ideal, I'm not sure if he's franchise quarterback material or not. I like the kid. I think I'd like to see him have the ability to do it. I'm not sure if he has it or not, but ideally what I would love to see is for A-Rod to have a great year, maybe come back next year and have another decent year. But in these next 2 years, really mentor Will Howard to be a good quarterback and learn the game, because that's the one thing about Aaron Rodgers is
he's gotten to that point. He wasn't always like that.
No, he's there and he knows the game. He's a student of the game. He understands it, and he's old school.
And I think the same thing goes for Ben. If Ben would have known how his career was going to play out, he would have been more receptive to Mason Rudolph and taught him the ropes, but he didn't want anything to do with it. And I get it. It's a business. You know, it's like we talk about putting systems into place. Well, his system needed to be him QB1 for him to get paid.
Yeah, and I don't know if Roethlisberger's system could have been taught to a quarterback like that.
No, that's my favorite video in the history of highlights is at practice when they show Charlie Batch and he's dodging the bags they're throwing at him and Ben is just fucking running into him.
Yeah, they were very...
They don't build him like Ben. He was the prototypical Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. We'll never have a quarterback that fits our city like that ever again.
I don't know that there's another quarterback like that in the NFL right now.
Nah. I mean, Herbert, like they're all divas. He was like an anti-diva quarterback.
Yeah. He's going to throw his shoulder down. He's going to nail somebody. He's going to run somebody the fuck over.
Yeah.
He can take a hit.
I mean, some of these guys, they have tough mentalities, but like, dude, he just encompassed what Pittsburgh was all about.
Yeah.
But although Pittsburgh's changed too, so we're a tech city now. Maybe we need a techie quarterback.
Yeah. My point is that I don't know that Roethlisberger could have taught that skill to Mason Rudolph or Charlie Batch or any of them, because they were a different style of quarterback.
Yeah. And then I guess my other prediction would be, so we have, once again, the highest paid defense in the league. Do they live up to the bill? Do we have a prime time defense again?
I don't know, man. Everybody keeps saying our defense is going to be great. I hope so.
That was one of the cooler quotes that come out of training camp was when Metcalf was like, "This is the best defense I've ever gone against." Like they're legit, and I hope it's the truth because they've paid a lot of money into it, and you want to see some returns on that. So
the Pittsburgh way, man. They just spent so much money on defense, and last year, man, they left so much on the table. It was just so disappointing to see.
Yeah. So I mean, my prediction was also 11-7. Yours is 11-7. My
11-6.
11-6, right? Yeah. Until they're going to play 18 games probably soon. But if I could see one thing this year, honestly though, I'd like for us to go 2-15, beat the Ravens twice, and draft number 1 overall next year in the draft here in Pittsburgh.
There are a lot of draft picks going into next year.
They won't give them up either. So it'll be, because we do have the draft coming next year, so that's going to be fun. Follow on that. I mean, I'm interested to see the business that comes out of it, because there was a lot of grumbling going on up to the U.S. Open. This is going to be bigger than the U.S. Open, And I know golf fans and people in Oakmont think, oh, it's the Oakmont U.S. Open. And yeah, it was great. But this is going to be...
It's going to be a monster.
Yeah, I mean, they're expecting 300,000 people there day one. So they're putting...
You going to go down?
I think we talked about it. I think my aspect would be is I will go down, but I'm not going to stand in the crowd. I want to be in a suite or in up on a hotel floor somewhere. I don't want to be in that. I don't want to have to take a piss and then wait in line for an hour. We were at Hartwood Park, Hartwood Acres. Allegheny County does free concerts, and there was like 12 porta potties for like 3,000 people. And I was like, I'm gonna go piss in the woods, dude. I didn't plan ahead. I didn't set a timer to say I'm gonna have to pee in an hour. I'm gonna go stand in line for an hour. So that much of a crowd. I've seen those videos from the draft where like there's one stage and all those. I drink beer too fast and I pee too much to be in the middle of that.
Dude, I went to the Jelly Roll concert this year, and we had a bunch of people. We all went in on a suite at PNC Park, and we had those suites have their own bathroom.
That's awesome.
Freaking awesome, right? And we were sitting there, and one of us pointed out, look at the line for the Porta-Johns. So all the people that were on the floor, there was like a line up of Porta-Johns. And there was there's probably 12 or 15 Porta-Johns or whatever, But the line literally went like from the front, the front row all the way to the back row.
Yeah.
it was wild how many people were standing in line to use the porta johns.
I have a 41-year-old's bladder, dude.
There ain't no time for that.
There ain't no time. I'd have been pissing in cups.
That's crazy.
There's no shame in my game. I'd have just peed wherever I could have peed.
Dude, it's a lot of waiting in line to sit there to go to the bathroom, just piss in a porta john. And I'm like, we're just going to go in our private bathroom here. It was worth it just for that.
Yeah. All right. So then, sticking with our predictions, who's your Super Bowl?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Throw something out there. You might be right. You might be wrong. People get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to pick this every year.
I'm going to say Detroit.
I'd love to see it.
I don't know. It's so hard because everybody in the AFC, I just fucking hate them. And I can't
Yeah, if it ain't us, we don't care.
Yeah.
Detroit versus the world.
I'm going to go the Bills. Just because they're the only ones I can stomach.
All right.
If it's not us.
So in my true Yinzer fashion, I'm going to go Steelers. I'll do the Steelers versus Philly.
Okay.
I've been wanting that my whole life.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome one.
I've said it a long time ago. I would never pay the money for a Super Bowl ticket, dude. But if the Steelers,
do you know where it's at this year?
I do not. Look it up.
Hey Siri.
Oh, fancy as fuck.
Where's this year's Super Bowl? Hey Siri. Where's this year's Super Bowl? Why does it keep doing that?
Because it's the beta form, dude.
Hey Siri. Where's this year's Super Bowl?
Heinz Field.
Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California.
Better keep the lights on.
February 8th, 2026.
Well, then that means the Ravens are in it. Every time it's in San Fran, I feel like the Ravens are in it. Power will go out. All right. So I'm going Eagles, Steelers, Super Bowl, true Yinzer.
I would prefer it to be, I would rather it be Steelers and Detroit. I could see the Eagles doing it again, though. Saquon was so fucking good last year.
I feel like sometimes the stories get written for a reason, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers being on the Steelers last year, John Elway style, retiring on the podium, it has a good Bettis feel to it. You know, I feel like the NFL owes Aaron Rodgers another one for everything he's done. You know, Ray Lewis got one on his way out.
I've said that for a long time. There's always a story. There's always a narrative. Yeah. You know, Detroit, Bettis, retirement, that was the story. When we went into that Super Bowl, I'm like, we're going to win. Everybody's like, how do you know? And I'm like, because of Bettis' story. We're going to win.
Everybody forgets the story before that story, though. The story before that was they shot Joey Porter in Denver. And then we went to Denver and won. They shot me in Denver. Who ride? We ride. I'll never forget that, dude. Oh, that was a good run, man. All right, and then we'll dial it back a little bit. What do you think about your Pitt Panthers, man? What are you hearing from Pitt?
I didn't get my season tickets this year.
Just beat West Virginia and move on. That'll be a good year.
I think this is the last year for the backyard brawl for a few years.
Yeah. I hope they beat Duquesne for the sake of the fucking Pitt Panthers. Because I could see that coming. That's another Akron. You know, that's on.
I don't know. I'm obviously I'm rooting for Pitt. I hope they do really well. I was so disappointed that bowl game and Narduzzi, and I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't know. I'm hoping for a better year. Holstein's coming back. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, they're hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah. And when we went 7-0, and I'm like, holy shit, we have a chance. Like, we're actually doing well. And then they lost them out.
We are in some dark times for Pittsburgh sports right now.
Yeah.
We are, both of our predictions reflect our optimism. Yeah. And if you're not a fan if you're not optimistic.
You have to be.
Like we've gone through another Pirate season that has gone exactly how we thought it would go.
And it has our entire lives pretty much.
And the Penguins they're restructuring, but won't say they're rebuilding.
Yeah. So the Penguins are awful. The Pirates are always awful. The Steelers have been mediocre since
a decade.
Yeah, for a decade. The standard is the standard.
And I feel for these local businesses because, man, when the Pens are winning, bars are doing good. When the Pirates won in the 90s and early, like 2013, the bars were killing it. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
And the economic
Nothing's better than 7 games, dude.
Yeah. And then you're like looking now and they're like, well, we got to wait until April of 2026 for an economic impact when the draft comes. And it's like, Jesus Christ. So we'll see. We'll root. I'll root every Sunday.
And with this NIL stuff, Pitt
might
never
never
have
get back.
some dark times for a while, man.
Yeah. They're going to have to fall onto one. And that's the problem because like when they had Kenny for 4 or 5 years. And this new name, the NIL shit, they could literally have Kenny and lose Kenny and then have the next greatest quarterback and he could be playing at LSU the next year. It could happen. Mm-hmm. They could become a JUCO school pretty much.
Yep.
So it'll be fun to watch. I'm ready for football season. I thought about it the other day. I need that mind suck away from like.
I said that last year. I really enjoy Sundays watching football. For years and years and years, I really like watching football, but I never did it because it was like, I got other stuff with kids. You get busy.
Yeah.
But the nice thing, what I enjoy about football is it gives me something that I can sit and watch. It occupies my brain because I start thinking about the strategy and the plays and what they're doing. So it gives me something like analytical.
Cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders are always key, although the Steelers don't do that, but it gives me something analytical to kind of use my brain that isn't work.
Yeah, I woke up Monday morning like super early and was like, got my coffee and like was hanging and I was like, there's literally nothing that I can occupy. Like I just need to go to work right now. But like during the week, like during an NFL week, I'll turn on SportsCenter. Mm-hmm. You can see all the highlights from all the games. You know, all the injury reports and all the bullshit.
I look forward to noon every day. I put on Pat McAfee, and I just listen to him every day.
Yeah. Man, is he killing it. Pat, if you're listening, man, come on the show. We want the secret sauce.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a good episode, man. We'll get back after next week, and we'll go from there.
That's it, buddy.
All right, man. Good talking with you.
Yeah.
Love you, bud.
Yeah, love you too, buddy.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. Find and follow us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Like and subscribe, and leave us a rating and review. You can join us socially on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can email the show at info@betweentwobridgespodcast.com. Until next time, make it till you rake it.
I'm going to drink some beer because we got some celebrating to do.
We only got so many beers, dude. We might have to send Nate out beer run while we're fucking
we don't have
recording.
that many.
No, you're good. I got this big boy here.
I only have
We'll
one.
make Nate go get more. Just
Hey, we need beer.
run the Speedway or American Natural beer run. Here's my credit card.
He's
Go.
going to watch us later and be like, these fucking assholes were going to send me for beer.